It is a crucial week for the Taliban. It's set to form the new Afghan government. The group, which was declared a terror outfit by the United Nations, will now have to transform into a governing power again. The Taliban's promised a softer brand of rule than last time it was in charge. Whether it will follow through or not on that remains to be seen. The international community's adopted a wait and watch rule as it mulls recognising the Taliban. Discussions are underway in Kandahar, with latest reports suggesting that Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, who is a co-founder of the Taliban, is expected to be the head of the Executive Council. This council will be functioning under the Emir. Sheikh Hibatullah will be the supreme authority of the new Islamic government. Key positions are expected to be given to Sirajuddin Haqqani, another deputy and influential operations leader within the movement. Along with him, Maulawi Muhammad Yaqub, who is the son of the Taliban movement's founder, Mullah Muhammad Omar. He'll also be given an important role, we expect, in the government. You are looking at images uploaded by Ahmadullah Mataki, the chief of the multimedia branch for the Cultural Commission Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. He says the country's Ministry of Information and Culture have made arrangements for ceremonies at the presidential palace. So far, the Taliban have named a governor and mayor for Kabul, governor for Nangarhar, governor for Khost, head of sports federation and a minister of higher education. Officials to run the Ministry of Public Health and the central bank have also been named. Many Kabul residents are concerned, though, about the country's future. Some worry about employment opportunities, some fear they won't have access to education. Many world powers are hoping for an inclusive government, but the Taliban has not yet confirmed anything. What we know is that the government, Taliban, is taking over a country with challenges on multiple fronts. More than a third of the population lives on less than $2 a day. Banks, which were closed after the Taliban's takeover, have now been ordered to reopen. But that means hours of queuing thanks to strict weekly limits on cash withdrawals. The country also faces the loss of billions of dollars in aid, as many foreign development groups have halted their assistance since the international troop withdrawal. The Taliban has promised that economic hardship will ease once the new government is in place.
Armed Taliban fighters stood guard at the closed airport in Kabul, where planes sat idle on the tarmac on Thursday, as Afghanistan's Taliban rulers prepared to unveil their new government, and some residents worried about their new reality.
I have no hope for the future, because you also better know the situation. Every person wants to go outside from the country because they have no jobs, they have no business, they have no facility for the people to do.
Growing economic hardship is emerging as the new Taliban government's biggest challenge, but even before the Islamist militia's swift takeover 2 weeks ago, many Afghans were already struggling to feed their families as the country reels from its second drought in 4 years. Video provided by the World Food Program showed Afghan men and women waiting for basic rations at a UN food distribution center in the northern city of Mazar-e Sharif.
There are no crops, no rain, no water, and people are living in misery. This food is a great mercy from God, and it really helps poor and needy people.
The World Food Program says food prices have spiked since drought wiped out some 40% of the wheat crop, and the WFP's country director said millions of Afghans could soon face starvation.
The situation that we have unfolding at the moment is absolutely horrendous and could morph into just a humanitarian catastrophe.
Adding to the misery of drought and an economy on the verge of collapse is continued conflict. On Thursday, fighters loyal to local leader Ahmed Massoud, seen here marching last week, battled Taliban forces in Afghanistan's Panjshir Valley, the last province resisting rule by the Taliban. Each side said it had inflicted heavy casualties, and the rebel fighters have pledged to hold out against the Taliban for as long as they can.
WION correspondent Anas Malik sent us this report.
Well, the government formation announcement has been delayed by the Afghan Taliban. It was speculated to be held today, though there was no official confirmation on that. It was much anticipated that there was an announcement that was likely to be done today, sometime after the Friday prayers. But now sources within the Taliban say that the announcement has been delayed until next week. Sometime mid next week, we're looking at the government formation announcement being done. The confirmation will be done in Kandahar, whereas the ceremony and the announcement will be followed here in Kabul. Behind me is the Afghan presidential palace, where the ceremony is to take place. Today is a Friday, and Friday is a day off here in Afghanistan by and large. So we're seeing lesser traffic on the road, shops being closed as well. People who are looking forward to this government announcement, so that this would have led to things being put at ease, at calm, given that there is a dysfunctional setup within the country that has been in one way or the other running the country since the past 20 days or so. Anas Malik in Kabul, Afghanistan, for WION, World is One.